So let me address another area that we talked about, which is the cost of housing. I think all of us recognize we have an affordable housing crisis in the United States of America. You agree with that, right?
Yes, sir.
And obviously some of the inputs to housing are the materials. We talked about how you have a multi-family housing business, and when I asked you what were the primary drivers of increased costs, one of the first thing you said was the costs of actually building the home and the materials, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So I want to talk to you about those inputs, because obviously lumber is a huge cost for housing. And the previous Trump administration increased tariffs on lumber. The current Biden administration kept them on and raised them a little further. I think they're now about 15%. Would you agree that it would make housing more unaffordable if we further increased tariffs on lumber?
Well, that's the president's job, and I know he's going to do everything he can to bring costs down.
No, I mean, this is sort of math. I'm just asking you, there are lots of factors here, but would you agree that if you increase the tariffs on lumber, which is a major input to the cost of housing, that increases the cost of housing?
Well, I think there's a lot of increase to the cost of housing. I don't want to get into the tariffs conversation, because obviously that is not my job. That's the president, and your job is Congress. But what I want to do is combat anything that raises the cost of housing, be it the cost of construction, be it fees, be it regulatory burdens. That's what I'm focused on, Senator, to bring those things down.
Right. No, look, I appreciate that. If you're confirmed you're going to be Secretary of Housing, and affordable housing will be part of your portfolio, a major part of it, and obviously you'll be at the cabinet meetings if confirmed. And so yes, I hope you will pass on to the president, as he considers these things, the impact that will have. Look, I support targeted tariffs to protect strategic U.S. industries. I mean, that's a very important thing.
Right.
But a broad-based set of tariffs across all sorts of goods that we're importing obviously drives up costs to Americans, just like it drives it up for housing. And there's another area of housing that includes gypsum. By the way, we produce some gypsum in the United States, but we also import a lot of gypsum, including through the Port of Baltimore. That's another area. If President Trump is talking about increasing tariffs across the board for Americans by 10 to 20%, won't those tariffs on gypsum and other things also raise the cost of housing and make it less affordable?
Senator, I do commit to you to having these conversations, if confirmed by this committee, with the president, because obviously affordable housing, if I'm the Secretary of HUD, will be my responsibility. So I do commit to having these and more conversations on how we can bring costs down in our country so that we can build affordable housing. So I do commit that to you, sir.
I appreciate that, and again, this is a simple mathematical proposition, and if we're serious about affordable housing, we can't have across-the-board tariffs in an unstrategic way. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.